Welcome to the Story Tinker podcast, a place for in-depth analysis of webtoon stories. Co-hosted by sharp, witty, and dare I say thirsty fans, we dive deep into every episode, analyzing character struggles, relationship development, and of course, theories. You can follow the Story Tinker on YouTube, podcast platforms, and social media. For bonus content, sneak peeks, and more, you can support the Story Tinker on Patreon. We are really appreciative of your likes, subscribes, and follows on all platforms. Thank you for listening to the Story Tinker, and let's get started. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 50 of the 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗬 podcast on the Story Tinker called Warm Welcome. And today we have Bundin, Firedancer, and Fwoot.
Hello.
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 So this is the first episode of season 2, and it is a banger. So it starts out with some fan art, which shows.
Well, it's not fan art if it's from the author now, is it?
I think she calls it fan art when she does these kind of like outside stuff, like not in the story.
True.
Author fan art.
Yeah.
But I think this is the actual official season 2 promotional banner.
It was
the banner,
yeah. I remember when she was streaming this and everybody was like, oh, this is great. What is this? It's like the banner or something. Then this was the announcement picture and we all freaked out.
It's very funny. It's Kieran and Lauren. I don't know why I said that. Kieran and Lauren shackled. Oh, because I was going to say shackled afterwards. So, okay. Kieran and Lauren shackled to each other. They are both drinking coffee. Lauren says, fuck my life, pardon my language. And Kieran says, save me. And there is a dagger and a knife on the office cabinet next to them. There is Will and Kim also drinking coffee, peering in from the back, being very nosy.
I love how both of us are just like,
I know, right? Going sideways.
Oh.
Because it is sideways.
Oh, you have it on your phone, Fire, so you have it easy.
But not really. If I turn it
switches,
the thing
I
turns.
know, right? I know.
Turn off your lock.
I don't know how to do that.
Swipe. You have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Swipe down and press the lock button.
Where's that?
Oh, you might have to
I
swipe
give
up.
up.
Sorry,
I give
swipe up and press the lock button. I forget you have an older phone.
It's fine. I'll do it later.
So that's how we start out. And so as we know, last episode ended, well, the panels are here, where basically we discover that who is the new archivist? None other than Kieran White, the man who just choked her last night. Okay. Wow.
Poor girl cannot catch a break.
That was one of the best finales ever. Like the cliffhanger. We had to wait 3 months to get this.
3 months.
Oh.
It was worth it though. 3 months
It
for
was.
this episode.
Yeah.
We were talking about it before podcast, but this episode, like, at least in my opinion, I'm sure that they would also agree with me, like so far in season 2, one of the best episodes in the entire season. Just it is
entire series, I would say.
Premiere.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just well done. It's just the best. The best thing always.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the best things hurt you, and that's fine.
True.
Often.
Oh, you go through pain for character development.
So we have that like slow turn, of Kieran. And now we see he's holding a jacket. And in the jacket is the profile of a gun, which I don't get it because he doesn't use guns. Why does he have a gun?
I don't know if it's a gun.
I don't
Is
think
it a
dagger?
gun? It
Looks
might
like
be
it, that
dagger.
shadow thing.
I don't know what that is, why they focus. I think maybe there's just something in his pocket and Lauren is just thinking the worst thing possible because she's kind of, traumatized. So,
Yeah, okay. Better.
I don't know. I have no clue what that is.
I mean, it could just be his wallet for all we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we ever found out.
No, I don't think we did.
I think that might be just her like looking at him and then not wanting to look at his face, so she looks down at his jacket instead. I don't know. Could be something like that. I'm not sure what that choice was.
Mm.
And her eyes just go wide, like giant. And the world has kind of like become like it's a fishtail view.
Fish islands.
Islands. Oh, that's what it's called. Whoops.
Yeah, I got it. It's on like my GoPro is the same thing.
Yeah. And you can like
it's kind of like expressive of how like everything in her world has narrowed down to just what she sees. And the vision she sees is like Kieran in the shadow looking extremely ominous, and Kim and Will behind him. And, you know, she just sees him as like this dark, shadowy figure, you know, ominous, imposing. Oh boy. And, you know, Will behind him is like, his name is Kieran White, with this smile. He'll be our new archivist. And Kim is like, isn't he charming? Oh, she just like slaps him on the shoulder, which, by the way, I can't imagine must have been very comfortable for Kieran. Like, Kieran probably also has like a trauma response to touch. And like, he's just like, smile. But then when he looks at Lauren, because Will and Kim are behind him, he gives her this like a very serious look. Oh boy.
Oh goodness.
Them Harry Potter glasses.
I don't miss them.
He looks like he should be in a senior center, not a police office.
I know we talked about this. We talked about this in our last episode that we were together in, at least the last one. I was in 45 last, me and Fire were in that one. And his eyes look almost like they're not as glowy as they were in that episode, but they do shine in this. Because like he's kind of drawn kind of dully, except for the light on his face and his eyes. And I just think that that's just good through line for like the stuff that we discussed in that one. Yep. And it hurts.
Indeed. Oh
yes. And Lauren is just like, again, she has that shocked look, and she thinks, what is the leader planning? And she thinks of all, because she does recognize obviously that he's there because of the leader, and she thinks of all those dead prison guards. Is this precinct his next target? And she has this vision of bloody Kieran and all her coworkers dead on the floor. Ooh, ow. Poor girl. Wow, that is a flippin' amazing twist and shock. It is so good and so horrible. It's perfect.
I'm in pain.
Yeah.
Pain, but without yes.
Yes.
Oh boy. And Kieran just again looks at her. He has a very neutral expression on his face in this particular panel. And for most of the scene, he tries to be very, very, very neutral. Oh my God. And Kim is just completely oblivious. She's like, we could use someone with your physique in the patrol unit. I'm like, girl, like,
Kim, your simp tendencies are showing.
And like Kieran's like kind of like dislodging her hand off, like he's like, go away, you know, like don't touch me. And he's like, haha, thanks, but I don't use guns. And that's true. He does not use guns. Yeah.
Oh, why though, Kieran?
I know. Like, why? I just want to point out.
That's why I'm wondering. And the fact the next two panels are him like shoving his coat, and the fact that like we saw what I thought looked like the gun of an outlet, the outlet of a gun. That's why I'm wondering, like, it looks like it's juxtaposed on purpose. Like I don't use guns, but then he has the gun in his coat.
I don't know, maybe.
Why would it not?
But it never came up again.
They probably, because I figure it's a police, like even though they don't have like massive detectors now, they would still search people who go in because it's like a sensitive place. So I don't know.
It didn't him because he was hired there, and they figured they'd check his, you know, his background, like he says later. And also the fact that it says thumps, like when he puts the coat down, it thumps. To me, that's an indication of the mark of the like of the sound of the gun. But the gun never comes up again. So I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. I misinterpreted it.
Yeah, I just want to point out here that like while this is going, you have like the 43 music, and it's like, oh, more pain, more pain. And it just goes back to the flashbacks that Lauren has.
So he walks toward her. Sorry. He walks toward her, and she's flashing back to when he walked toward her in the cave. And there's Thumpy, there's Krish, and she's like, hi, I didn't know we were expecting a new archivist. And she has this very deadpan, serious look on her face. And then she smiles, and she's like, please forgive my surprise before.
The fakest smiles.
Yeah, right? Lauren never smiles. I've never seen her smile in real life. Like, even when she does smile, she like has this tiniest little smile. Like, she doesn't smile like really smile.
I mean, I can name one time we see them smile, but there was other
episode 6.
Episode 6, but also 82.
Oh yeah. Oh, 82.
But we're not there yet. But
episode 49, she smiled.
Very
was mean.
funny, Fire.
I did.
Yeah, another fake smile. That was the one with Tristan, right? Where she
But
smiled at
also, like,
Tristan.
you know, her childhood.
The childhood
Oh,
self.
God. No.
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Okay, fine. You're right. So anyway, so she extends her hand and he extends his hand, and there's like a panel of their hands coming close, and she is flashing back to the last thing his hand did, which was choke her. And she says, oh, it's crazy. And she's like, little smile, nice to meet you, Mr. White. I am Lauren. And this
Dude, I just want to point out, like, when the hand is being outstretched and then it flashes back to like him shoving her and choking her, I'm like, I can feel the shove. It's like, it's so well placed, the flashback. I'm just like, oh God.
Yep. It's bad. Oh goodness. It's perfectly bad. It's like so perfect and horrible. And she's like, nice to meet you, Mr. White. I'm Lauren. The hand, and they shake hands. Ugh. Oh God.
The flashbacks to episode 10.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the deal, but there's no deal now. And those hands have been used for terrible things in between. And it is so flippin' horrible and perfect and amazing.
Pretty sure it's like the exact same drawing of the hands, just rendered differently, and it's just like
without the blood.
Right. But the blood is now
It's
hidden.
such a good sequence.
It's amazing. So good.
Oh, is
The
it
irony is just so rich, and the like poetic justice or lack of justice.
Yeah.
Oh, is it me now? Or is it okay?
Oh, yeah.
So we see him have this really like happy, carefree smile, and his eyes are closed, and he says, "The pleasure is all mine, Officer Sinclair," in big fat red letters. I'm excited to join the team.
Oh.
No, you ain't. We know you ain't.
We know you're miserable.
Oh, poor people. So terrible.
Then it cuts to a flashback of his face while he was mid choking her, looking like a monster.
God, I love that panel, but it's pain.
Yeah.
This whole episode is pain, Fire.
I know.
I may as well just rename it. Warm welcome pain.
Also, that title, they're being cheeky with us. They know what they were doing. Then it cuts back to them shaking hands, but Lauren like digs her finger into his wrist, which I love because she's basically just like being like, screw you, like, but nobody can see, and his face reveals nothing.
Okay.
And then it cuts back to Kim, and she winks at him and says, "And we're very excited to have you here. Aren't we, Lauren?" And Kieran's just kind of looking at her with mild confusion and worry in his eyes.
Oh God.
He's not used to this kind of attention. Like,
No,
I don't think he recognizes how charming and pretty he is. And like, I don't think he's ever had someone like simp over him in public in broad daylight and be like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. Like, you know.
Or try to like pass him up onto Lauren, and Lauren's and he's just there like,
please stop.
Funny you mentioned Lauren.
About that.
Well.
Oh gosh.
And then Lauren thinks to herself, in a police station in broad daylight, even he couldn't. Like, you know, just going through thinking about why is he there and what is his plan, what's he there to do. But then it cuts to what she actually says. She's still got her big smile on her face. She pulls her hand away from when they were shaking it and says, yeah, definitely. With the rash of murder cases recently, I do think we've been needing a new archivist. And as she says that, she rubs her neck.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's like she's still got her big smile, but she's just like,
oh God. And also with the rash of new murder cases recently, subtle dig. Subtle dig.
Take your digs where you can, man.
True.
Oh,
She's holding it remarkably together for someone in her situation.
Literally, oh my god, if I were her, I wouldn't even wait till the bathroom. I would just throw him in the middle of the office.
Oh god.
Hey, this is the one time that Lauren has impulse control.
Girl, where was this impulse control the last 2 times?
She was shocked into impulse control, that's why.
True.
Where was this impulse control like 3 episodes ago when Steak showed up?
Where was the impulse control when your ass nearly got caught by the cops? Where? Where?
Where was your impulse control when you made a deal with an assassin?
Wait, she at least took a day to think about it. Okay?
I mean, she did think that
That was a
through,
lot.
but well,
Yeah,
no,
I'm gonna
but she's
work with this guy who's a murderer. What could go wrong?
No, where was your impulse control when you signed up to visit Onslow?
I mean, you're not wrong.
So then it cuts back to Will, and he says, our other archivist is going to get here any minute. He'll give you a more detailed orientation. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. You can ask him or any of us if you need help. And then Kieran looks over his shoulder to Will and says, thank you very much. And then he smiles at Will and says, I look forward to working with you. The lies this man says. We know how much he doesn't want to be there too.
Yeah.
Because
It's kind of reassuring, at least, that he doesn't want to be there, you know? So, like, we know, it's like, not like he wants to come and ruin Lauren's life.
Yeah.
No, what I love, this is talking about how this kind of bleeds into the end of the last episode. How, because we had in 45, he says, I know someone who's not going to like this. Him, because he definitely doesn't like it, but also Lauren. And when we found out why, and she's like, oh no.
Oh, she really going not like this.
I know, she's not, and he doesn't want to be there either. I feel like if he didn't have to do this, they would have never spoken to each other again.
Honestly.
They would have never seen each other again.
Interesting. I don't know. I feel like something would have happened to bring them together because they're both so obsessed with the leader thing. I think that they would have found evidence and they would have felt like, oh, you know, like I have to share it with them, and like against their will, they would kind of like find themselves like trailing back toward each other and be like, I don't want to tell you this, but like, yeah, whatever, I found this piece of evidence, and like this.
It would have probably taken longer.
I mean, honestly, I feel like the next time they would have met would have been at the 𝗲𝗏𝗃.
Yes.
Because they both had that information.
Yeah, I was about to say that would probably happen, but I don't know how well that would go because we're not getting into that episode right now. So I don't think I should get into it since it's only going to be a few episodes away from this one. But I feel like he has more, like there's more stakes in that encounter there, like, you know, so, and that's all I'll say for that. So then it cuts to Will, like he's leaving and says, although before that, would you mind showing me the restroom?
Oh,
and then Kim just kind of just finesses over to him, blinking, not even winking anymore, just blinking, and says, I wouldn't mind showing you the entire station again if you want.
Again, she already showed it to him. Wait, again, meaning like, it could be someone else showed him, but it sounds like she was the one that showed him. Here it is, sweating.
You just see this poor boy sweating in his boots, literally, and he's like, oh, thank you, but I think I remember where it is now. I'll go to the bathroom before heading to the archives. And then he heads over to the door, looks over his shoulder, and says, it was nice meeting all of you. I'll see you around.
That's not a lie. That's true.
Yeah. It's a difference. He's like, I'm not happy to be here, but it was nice meeting you.
I think maybe I didn't catch this before. Maybe this is like he actually did enjoy meeting them because they're like really cool people and fun to be around with, and like not murderers like the rest of the people he hangs out with.
Yeah, because it's like he might not be happy in the position he's in. Like he doesn't want to be there. He never wanted to be here, but like it was nice meeting them because you know they're cool ass people.
Do you think he's like deliberately saying he's going to the bathroom because he knows Lauren is going to want to talk to him and he wants to like give her a way to come to meet him? Probably,
because like when she came up to him, he just like, we have to talk.
Yeah, that maybe he was like subconsciously hoping like, oh, if I just don't go by her, we don't have to talk again. Like, who knows?
Yeah, I thought he was trying to escape.
Yeah.
Like, because he
Probably
probably
trying to
wasn't.
escape Kim.
It could be both.
I mean, yeah, couldn't. Yeah.
Could be a little
Because I
bit
don't
both.
know, like,
Yeah.
what do you expect her?
I mean, he
Like-
knows her and her
Yeah.
what happens when her impulse control is worn thin. So
I mean, yeah. I think he knew it was bound to happen, but he wanted to get away from people first.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because like I don't know if he would want to confront her in the bathroom because he couldn't guarantee that anyone else wasn't in there. Like Lucas.
Yeah,
where-
true.
scene.
You probably should have said like, hey,
Bundin.
I'm gonna step outside for
Bundin.
pleasure.
I think I know what
Yeah.
I'm thinking about.
A theory? You have a
There's-
theory?
It's not a theory, it's more of like a crack theory or just
Okay.
something. It's basically what if during the whole encounter in the bathroom there's just someone in the toilet, like in one of the stalls, just being like,
What the heck?
What is going on?
and there is a fan fiction for it it's a self-insert fanfic on AO3 for that. So
And I will say the ending of it is just A+. Because like at the end, it's just got the ending line is like, Mr. White, can you pass me the toilet paper?
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
oh, that's classic.
Beautiful.
That's good.
But yeah, so your boy scurries away and Lauren's still looking at the door that he just left through very intensely, not really focusing on anything else. But then she feels Kim like come up behind her and like hug her, and she says, isn't he handsome? Can you even imagine him without the glasses?
Oh, God.
Kim would not survive Kieran without glasses. She would not.
No, she would not. We
R.I.P.
barely
Lauren.
survived without it.
Honestly.
R.I.P. Lauren for this whole episode.
Honestly. Lauren's patience really being put to the test this episode.
Then it cuts to another flashback of when he had his arm around her neck. I was like holding her, like restraining her, not choking yet, but nearly there.
You know what would have made that interaction worse? If Kim didn't say, can you imagine him without his glasses? If she said, like, imagine his arms wrapped around you, like,
Oh, no.
Ah,
I bet he's strong.
Stop. You
probably does
stop.
those hand exercises to improve grip strength.
Oh gosh.
No.
I mean, he does scale buildings. Oh God.
So then Lauren dislodges herself from Kim and says, he's not my type. I'll be right back. I need to go and get something into my locker. And Kim like is smiling and waving behind her and says, you can run, Lauren, but you can't hide. And Lauren's like,
The fakest laugh ever, probably.
then cuts to a panel that shows Lauren's true emotions, just shadows, closes the door behind her.
Me too,
Just-
Lauren.
The dog, like she's like, you can't see her eyes, she's just looks
Mhm.
blank and gloomy.
Not like
Then
the mask, like the shape of it is like the mask that they use.
That's
Or-
very true, yeah.
Yeah. It's such a it's such a stark change from like, the tone of the last sequence, because in The Office it was very cheerful, but you could tell it was very superficial as well. But as soon as the door closes, everything is different. Like Lauren, her smile drops, you can't see her face anymore, and it's just a very, very heavy tone of grimness and seriousness.
So
Alright.
you want to say something?
Oh,
I think it's Fire's turn. But yeah.
my turn. Okay.
Wait, I thought I got up to the kick and then before the kick and then it was Fwoot's turn. No? Did Fwoot want that
I
one?
think it was from when she leaves till the kick, and then the kick is after the kick is Fwoot.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I think so.
am
Well,
I
actually,
after?
we're about at the halfway point almost. No?
Yeah, just about to the halfway point. Yeah. Yeah, we're at the halfway point now.
Okay, well then if Fire did it, then she would get the kick.
Yeah, then
no?
I would get the kick. Here,
Yeah.
wait, Fwoot, do you want to do part 3 so you get the kick?
As long as Lauren's beating Kieran up, I really don't
Yeah,
mind.
you're gonna pretty much
Yeah,
Yeah,
exclusively
true.
get
You'll get
Lauren
the
beating
rest
him
of
up.
it.
We're beating in part 4 in the last final part.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so we see Lauren running through the hall with the look of murder on her face. And in her head, she's thinking, this must be some sort of sick joke. The purple hyacinth in our precinct, which honestly it is a little bit funny if you think about it.
Yeah. Imagine like Ted Bundy showing up to your workplace. Like
Oh,
that's
God.
what it must be for her.
Oh no.
You know what I sometimes think about? I'm like, what if the Lune thing didn't happen, but he got assigned to her precinct anyways for some other reason and she didn't know who he was?
Oh.
She would be Kim.
She
would not be Kim.
She would not be Kim. She might say, yeah, he's cute, but whatever.
Yeah, I think
Might
she would
go
be
on a
looking
date.
against,
Might
like,
go on a
Maybe.
blind date.
saying.
Tristan would say, like, the archivist we hired is kind of cute, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Hired
Tristan
him for
tries
that
to
reason.
Tristan tries to set her up with
Date
Oh
my
my
niece.
Here, date my niece, please.
Awful.
Dude.
At least I guess this is good that she knows.
Goodness. And then after that, she's remembering back when they first made the deal, and she specifically told him, as for you, I don't want you in my life outside of this. I don't want people I care about involved either. What we do together stays between us. Understood?
Also,
Well,
like, he made a sexual joke last time. I just remember that.
yeah, he's
Sounds
just like,
like a
oh, how
violation.
scandalous.
Sorry. Sounds like a violation of contract, Kieran.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, but like, the powers that be broke the contract, so
Yeah. I mean, it's weird though, because like, I don't know, because I think I don't really blame Kieran for not telling Lauren about how he was gonna murder Onslow, because like she explicitly said that she didn't want to be involved in like any Phantom Scythe business. But then again, Onslow it is important to Lune. However, he probably assumed that they were done with him because he was in jail. It's like, they're not gonna, if he was on like the 15th floor or whatever, I don't remember which floor it was.
I think it was 15.
Yeah, 15.
Oh, okay. And that's supposed to be like the impossible floor to reach. Then there's no way Lune can reach him, right?
Yeah.
Like Lune, just by Lauren, what she would assume, Lune can't get to him anymore. So Kieran, assuming that Lauren assumes that they can't get to the 15th floor, he probably assumed that they would have no more need for Onslow. So it was fine to kill him off.
I mean, true. But at the same time, I feel like I can see why he didn't tell her, but it's kind of like yes, you broke the deal, but also you kind of didn't.
Yeah, it's like in that weird gray spot, right? Because it is important to Lune, but it is also Phantom Scythe like related.
Yeah.
Which she didn't want to get involved in. I feel like he should have mentioned it, but like
at the same time, if he did mention it, it was kind of putting her in a very terrible position, because it's just like, okay, so you tell her to give her a heads up, but at the same time, so she's just gonna wait for them to be murdered and have that on her conscience.
Do that.
Is it ethical for her to wait? That's the question.
I don't
like,
think
is it
trust her
ethical to let?
Yeah, like it'd kind of be a risk to tell her, because she could very well just go and tell the cops.
Yeah, of course. I totally think that he shouldn't have told her if he wanted to preserve his own skin.
Yeah. But
it's
a weird grade.
Would have been able to hold herself back. Like once it happened, it happened. But like if she would have known that it would have happened, I think she for sure would have told somebody to prevent it, because she couldn't stand by it, and when she knows people are going to be murdered.
Yeah.
And she needs Onslow, right? She needs him still. So she also has her own personal reason to keep him around.
Yeah. But at the same time, her personal reason was going to get her into trouble. So it's
Yeah.
He indirectly did her a favor,
True,
but also
true.
screwed her over. But yeah,
Basically.
that whole thing is in the weird gray area that they have that they really shouldn't have.
Yeah. All right, don't worry though. Lauren's a protagonist. Any issues she has will probably be solved by the end.
Hey.
And that's some plot armor.
Oof.
I love that word, plot armor. That's so cool.
Rama's great.
That's why, like, oh my god, because like people, like, I don't know. Every time people are like, "Oh my god, Kieran's gonna die in this episode," I'm like, really?
What?
Honey. What do you think this
Yeah.
is, Voltron? They're not gonna kill the major character early on, but they're not gonna get into that.
Oh, yes. But yeah.
I'm not even.
This is
Yeah, not
actually
even
well
half a
written.
Wow.
Damn.
Bundin. Dig.
I mean, am I wrong though? Exactly.
I mean.
Enough said.
This is so. But
So where were we?
yes, where were we? Second flashback. And then the second flashback is in the cave when he tells her, I once carved a man's heart out of his chest and mailed it to his loved ones, murdered an entire family, sat their corpses up in the living room, and waited all night for the father to come home. Oh, the look on his face before I stabbed him. Unforgettable.
Oh boy.
Okay,
So-
I don't think we've actually recorded 43 yet. So
We
like,
haven't. We'll do it tomorrow.
Oh wow, you guys haven't?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, really?
I know, it's crazy. The most crucial episode we haven't done yet. It's like crazy.
I know
Oh,
it's
dear.
yeah.
Wow.
'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
see-
vaccinated.
No, I like the two flashbacks together because it's this one where she's specifically telling him not to go for her friends. But in the next one, it's her remembering how ruthless he is. So
Mhm.
if he does go for her friends, they're gonna die. And that's what she's scared of.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, this moment heavily implies that Kieran has killed children before. And I think that's like, I like, every time I think of Kieran, I think of that. And I'm like, bro. I don't like kids too, but like, that's a little.
Damn. Like,
Yeah. It's dark, so I definitely think that Lauren, she specifically remembers this point, so like Lauren would definitely be very scared of Kieran. Like, this is weird, but like if Kieran came to the office before the events of, you know, that episode, I don't think she would be as terrified, mainly because at that point she has a more romanticized view of Kieran, because it was that episode that was the one that reminded her who exactly she was dealing with, and that was something that, you know, she kind of forgot about because, you know, Kieran is a decent person with her.
If anything, he would have given her like a heads up about what was happening. I realized
Definitely.
if 43 hadn't happened, he would have gotten his orders still, and then probably would have been like, "Hey, Lauren,
funny story.
something crazy is gonna happen at work tomorrow. Just be prepared."
What do you know of my work?
I know that you need someone to organize the records, and that you guys have been hiring. So surprise.
Oh my god, Kieran just like, he pulls up to the cave for like where they're meeting for Lune, and he's like, "So Lauren, cave rent is really expensive nowadays, so I another job to help me pay the bills, you know, having two homes it's not cheap."
No, listen, just like,
Intersex
listen.
doesn't pay well these days.
No, it's like, listen, the government was getting suspicious. I needed a day job, okay?
Look, in this day and era, there is no one our age is living without a job, right? And still like ranking in the, thousands. You think I'm a capitalist? Disgusting. How dare you? I need to get an actual job.
Lawrence, the funniest thing, the chief of police saw me on the street and asked me to work so that I could go to blind date with you. Can you believe?
Oh, goodness gracious. You people.
Like, if 43 hadn't happened, she'd probably still be pissed at him, but I don't think she'd be pissed to this extent.
No.
Yeah, of course
She would
not.
she'd probably just pull him into like a closet, just like, what the hell are you doing here? I don't know. It's fun to think about. But after the flashbacks, she's coming around a corner again with the look of murder and thinking, what's going on? What the hell? I could stop him, tell everyone who he is, but would that make it worse? Probably. And then she sees him in her sights. He's on his way to the bathroom. And then she thought, maybe I can just, and then she says aloud, you. He turns around.
Nutty.
Turns around, she rushes towards him, slams him into the bathroom, locks the door, and he's just like recovering from the push and said, we need to talk. She proceeds to throw her coat down. By the way, it's a very dusty coat I have.
That's so true. This is a bad sign.
Dust, yeah, shit.
Look at the bathroom.
Yeah, Lauren, why are you throwing your coat down in the men's bathroom?
Do you know how dirty that is?
Girl.
Mm-mm.
Priority
By the way,
check.
Yeah, I used to work for Lowe's, and one of my jobs, the customer service, and one of my jobs was to clean the bathrooms. And you betcha the men's bathroom was way dirtier than the women's bathroom. I don't even want to describe what I saw there. That could just be a whole episode in and of itself.
Oh,
No, I think we have a clear picture in our brain, Mindy, don't worry.
It wasn't dust on the floor, okay?
Oh. Mm-mm. But Lauren giving no F's to the sanitary agenda.
I mean, fire, Lauren. Lauren, we already got one pandemic going on, especially during the time this episode is released, both podcast and in the webtoon. We don't need another one. You don't need to be patient zero.
And then Lauren walks toward him and proceeds to drop kick him in the stomach.
Eats his glasses and everything.
Mm-hmm. Like, goddamn. Like, she didn't just kick him. She grabbed his neck and then kneed him in the ribs.
Yes, Lauren. I
Yes,
applaud
queen.
you. Yes.
What she deserves.
Absolutely. As you should.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I will
We
be
all
like,
agree.
That was
Yes.
good. It's
in a
quality
presentation of your
content.
best moments at your funeral, this will be presented.
That edit that came out so that they used this panel, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
nice. It's good work. I also love how his glasses get like thrown, and that's kind of like symbolic of him becoming himself again and not a persona. Like from here on out, he's Kieran to her, right? Like he's not trying to pretend to be some happy-go-lucky archivist. No, this is a real talk. Even though he just got like his shit rocked, and his ribs are just not broken.
Yes. And then,
I wish his ribs were though.
yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, they might be later on.
I was about to say that. Oh.
No, we felt so bad for him. We don't have any. We don't want any to be. At that point, we're over our anger. Well, not
Yes.
over, but a little bit.
Let's go back to anger. We like anger.
Anger is very fun.
Yes, it is. Yes. So drop kick. He gets the wind knocked out of him. And she just says, after he said, we need to talk, she said, oh, do we? You better have a damn good reason for me not to shoot you.
She's like reaching for her gun at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, I forgot. When am I supposed to come in?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Later.
Give
Later?
it like a couple of panels, and then
Yeah.
you can get this. What the next? Him getting his
Oh,
shit rocked.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that's a good spot, just so that you get some.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright.
I wanted to say, like, if Lauren did shoot him, like, what is she gonna do next?
Right?
Like,
oh, I just shot the new archivist. Whoops.
Whoops,
yeah,
I
like
mean,
if Will like walks in and he's like, why are there Harry Potter guts on the wall? Do you want to explain?
No, it's like, Lauren, you're in the men's bathroom after he announced that he was going to the men's bathroom, and now he's shot on the floor, dead. Not 2 minutes after we told you this information.
not even
Not
2
to
minutes
give
after you
you-
left. There's a bullet missing out of your gun. Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to explain.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Then he's still trying to recover. He said, look, I know you must be upset. A little bit of an understatement, but
Probably sounding more like.
and he's like, I know you must be upset.
To me, I like it because it's the first time like we see him vulnerable. You never see him vulnerable before, but you can really see like he's letting her do what she wants to him. He's not fighting back because I think he feels extremely guilty, and he recognizes that like he deserves it. And he's guilty over two things: guilty over what he did in 43, and then guilty because he's here at our workplace and he like feels bad. So he's
Yeah.
like, whatever, I deserve these punches.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes Kieran is actually correct.
indeed. He knows when he done wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
So
then said,
satisfying though.
it
sorry.
is, yes. No, it is satisfying. And then after that, he says, just wait a minute, let me explain, as he proceeds to reach his hand out, which was the worst mistake he could have done.
Genius.
I hate that I had
Genius.
predicted it.
Yeah.
I was like, huh, what if like Kieran like reaches to like shake her hand or something and she just gets the Vietnam flashbacks? Oh,
Oh dear.
Oh god. Like,
no.
Damn, Kieran. Situational awareness.
he
Learn
has not,
some.
he has not.
Sir, you're not making yourself look any better right now.
No, with the same hand, no less.
Sir, that's not how you look less threatening. Okay. Stitch your
No.
ass down.
And Lauren, very nice panel of her eye, by the way. And like the reflection of his hand in her eye. Very nice. I like it. So she then proceeds to have Nom flashbacks of 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗃 choke. And then Fwoot. It's now your turn.
Yes. Have your
So
fun.
I'm going to be so happy reading this. She sees his hand and she gets a flashback. And in an instant, she has already kicked him to the ground, hopefully breaking some ribs. So first she drops her coat on the ground, and then she drops Kieran on the ground in the men's bathroom, as she should. Not the coat, but Kieran.
Yes. The coat didn't deserve this. Kieran did.
The coat didn't deserve it.
Rip to that coat.
R.I.P. It's gonna need to be bleached.
So, and Kieran tries to block her, but like, yeah, he's
He's still got the wind knocked out of him.
against a counter. It looks like, I can't tell. It looks like a counter. He's
Mhm.
slammed against a counter. In the panel, though, it looks like he slammed against the floor, so it's a little weird, but yeah. Yeah, he slams against the counter, and Lauren's like, explain what? And Kieran's getting up in front of her, and Lauren says, like, we can't really see her face right now. Her hair is draped over her face a bit, and it's covering her face, and Yeah, and she's breathing very heavily, and she says that the leaders sent you here to kill them all, like you did at the tower. Because yeah, she thinks that he's going to kill Kim and Will. And she yells, and this is when we see her face, "I'm not going to let you touch them." And then in this inverted panel where it's like the colors are inverted, she gets a painful throb in her head because if you'll remember in season 1, at the very tail end, she got knocked out by our queen Belladonna.
Like,
I went there, but like
The
Oh,
contrast
yeah.
to what you just said is a little
I
jarring.
mean, yeah. And
don't worry, Mindy, I'm a contrarian. I know that.
Oh, nice.
So,
I like
and
that.
then from being knocked out, from what we have seen, she is definitely concussed.
yeah.
And by the way,
Yeah.
she's like yelling. I'm just wondering, like, forget
Yeah.
someone in the bathroom. Anyone outside can hear them. She's like,
Honestly.
Why
So
would a
in your
police station
room-
have soundproofed bathrooms? How
Bruh.
odd.
Huh.
Like Tristan's just like, oh, I'm so glad we finally soundproofed the bathrooms, right? This is great.
Oh,
So
God.
this is what the APD budget has been going to.
Yeah, no, like screw the poor. We've got a soundproof bathroom.
The public just like, so this is what my tax dollars have been going to.
Yes.
But no money for someone to clean the floors, apparently.
No.
None at all.
Yeah, because that requires hiring a janitor to like work like the whole time, and why would they give money to the poor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going a little too far. But
Yeah, no, I'm just rolling with it.
I mean, to be fair, they would have had to hire some construction workers to soundproof.
They're
So
temporary contractors. They don't have to keep them hired. They just get their thing done and then they leave.
they still get the money.
Yep.
You're
I mean,
overly
or
giving-
like, I don't know, like they just, you know, if Lauren has powers and there's probably someone out there, they find them and then they just raise the building out of the ground, like the Avatar or something. But yeah, Lauren, she gets a very painful throb in the back, or I'm not sure if it's the back, it looks like the back of her head. And she leans down to touch her forehead, or to hold her forehead. And Kieran notices and he looks very concerned. And he
concerned. We'd have to focus on those eyes a little, okay? I know he just
Yeah.
like nearly killed her the other day, but like he also is very concerned over here.
Yes.
wow,
He's
Kieran,
concerned for her well-being.
Kieran, this is such a good time to be concerned for her well-being after you almost strangled her the other day and killed her.
You know, it was another time to be concerned about her well-being.
Yeah, that was another time that would have been good to be concerned over how she was doing. Like,
Man.
man, you're very convenient in what times you pick to be a good person, Kieran.
He didn't call her a
Damn.
monster this time, so
No. We out here.
Yeah.
Lauren's self-control is very, very picks the
Minimal.
moment. His freaking ability to be a good person is very pick of the moment. It is great.
So Kieran approaches her and he, like as she's laying down, and he says, "Are you okay?" And he's cut off in this beautiful panel where Lauren raises her gun at him, and you flips. You can see, yeah, you can see Mindy, Bundin, and Fire all turning their heads. Like, I would turn my head, but
We can't
You
see
can't-
you.
No,
me.
turns image.
You know
I'm
what? Your
just-
head
I'm
is
just a
turned
Mara
with us.
profile pic.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Pretend I'm turning. Pretend the profile pic is turning. So she raises her gun at Kieran, and it is compositionally beautiful. It's so good. Again, you can't see Lauren's face. You can see Kieran, and he's in mild shock again, because I don't think he was expecting this. Like, I mean,
she kept pointing
Yeah.
the gun at him before all the time, like, so
Yeah,
this
this-
isn't new.
yeah, this entire time, like, I don't know if Kieran realized like how hard it hit Lauren, because the way that he, even like in the bathroom, like the way that he's just more casual around her, like, and less on guard than she is, it's like, boy, like, yeah, I don't think he fully realizes what it was like for Lauren, because
Yeah.
if he did, I feel like he would be way more cautious around her than he is being right now, because he's reached out for her once, right, in this bathroom, like not, but besides the handshake, because then the handshake would have been expected of him. But like he reached out to her here, and that's when she got the flashback of, you know, 𝗕cie𝗿𝗄𝗃. And then he's approaching her again after she like kicked him to the other side of the room.
Twice.
Yeah. So I'm like, Kieran, there's a pattern here. Notice it.
I mean, yeah, I think Kieran has a little bit of what we call lack of self-awareness, a bit of oblivious tendencies.
Yeah, this is, no brain cells here.
None.
No brain cells.
None to be found.
You can assume he did not receive good psychological like modeling of healthy, you know, of that in the Phantom Scythe. So
Man, Mindy, you're being like actually analytical here, and then Fahrenheit literally just clowning him into oblivion.
I'm just enjoying the ride.
no, I mean what I really think, like if I'm not joking around, is I think that in 43 he was clearly like okay, it's really fit for more like a 43 discussion, but he was under a lot of stress and triggered, and he reacted like without self-control at all.
Mhm.
And here he's himself again, like he's back to normal, like he's not triggered, and he really does care for her. Like I think that last time he was just so triggered that he couldn't control himself, and he forgot himself, and here he is showing who he really is.
I think Kieran though, like he knows that something's off, like he knows he did something wrong, but the way he's still able to approach her, and he's like he himself still felt comfortable seemingly like reaching out to her, it's like, you know, he's still kind of behind. Like it's like he's in the episodes like, I don't know, late 20s to late 30s, like that's where he is mentally, like where he can reach out to her.
Yeah,
But Lauren is past that. She's not letting him anywhere near her, and Kieran needs to realize that, because there have been new boundaries that are set. And what she was comfortable with before, he needs to realize she is no longer comfortable with that and no longer is willing to reciprocate.
Yeah.
It seems like he wanted to erase it from his mind, because it was, I'm sure he hates himself for what he did, but I think he doesn't want to think about it. Like I think he kind of erased it at this point.
But that's not good, just because he's erased it. Doesn't mean Lauren has, and he needs to, like, even if it's a very uncomfortable memory for Kieran, I would say, like, I know we haven't recorded the podcast for this episode, for, you know, the unnamed episode yet, so I haven't had much time to collect my thoughts for podcast, but like I would say that Lauren got the short end of the stick there, because while yes, it was like very triggering for Kieran, Lauren almost died because of him. So,
yeah, because like I feel like they both fucked up in that episode, but like Lauren fucked up, excuse my language, but Lauren messed up, but Kieran also messed up, and he lost control, which like they both messed up with each other, but Kieran went too far.
It's not to diminish any of their experiences, because what they've both gone through was absolutely horrible. But Kieran, even if he did like lose control, he did almost kill her, and nothing, like what Lauren said was not even close to that. So and I think Kieran, because Kieran has been in the Phantom Scythe, he does have that ability to block traumatic events out of his mind, and that is likely what he did to it's likely what he did do in this situation, right? He just, as Mindy said, he blocked out of his mind, or trying to forget it. But the thing is, Kieran was alone before. In his experiences, if there was someone else on the other end, like they were doing it to him, right? Or he was killing them. Like they don't exist anymore, or they're not relevant to his life anymore. But now there is someone else who was on the receiving end and who was in that experience with him, right? And that person is still around in his life and is an important person in his life. And he doesn't And I don't think Kieran knows how to deal with that yet because he's never, or he either A, never has had to deal with something like this before where there was another person, or B, it's been such a long time since there even was someone else where they both had shared trauma of like the same event. Because right now, even though Kieran was able to block it from his mind, Lauren hasn't blocked it from her mind. This happened like what?
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. So like even though Kieran may be like able to cope with it, he needs to be more understanding of how Lauren hasn't been able to deal with this. And it may not even have been 24 hours since it, like, he needs to give her more time.
Yeah, because I agree. I think he knows he messed up, and he knows he basically just ruined what relationship they had. But I feel like he's still acting on impulse of how he would react normally towards her, and he doesn't know how to tread lightly on something that he caused at this point in the story. So I
feel like there's also part of it is that like you know, she's showing that she's injured, and like he wants to help to kind of just show that he's not like that anymore. And it feels like that's obviously not gonna help. Like, you know, subconscious in his brain, he's like, I need to show her that I'm not gonna hurt her, that I'm not, that I'm like, you know, like all that stuff. So it's just a lot of subconscious stuff. But
Kieran, I don't think now is the right time to really be trying to talk to Lauren when you've like almost killed her last night, invaded her personal life without any warning to her, even if like you didn't have control over it because, you know, it's fantasized stuff or whatever. Like, you almost killed her, invaded her personal life, and yeah, while she is basically, you know, kicking you across the room in a men's bathroom, no less, like, you think now is a good time to try and approach her, give her space.
I wonder, do you think he should have tried to reach her like last night?
Oh,
Grab her phone number and like give her a heads up.
Yeah, because they were on speaking terms when he was given the order, but like, bruh, you knew this wasn't gonna end well.
No, he got the order afterwards, right? Like,
yeah, he did.
But
he got the order,
he should have tried to find her number and call her. I would have tried to do that if I was him.
I don't know.
Phone books? Oh my god, do phone books exist in Artalis? Because
Probably.
if they do,
Probably.
like, if people figured out who 𝗏𝗏𝗃 is, how many phone calls do you think like Will has? Do you think he has like do you think there's a fan club for him?
I mean, there is one at the office for like Prince of the Office.
Yeah, and then Will like was just like, he gets thousands of calls a day, and Will's just like, please, I just want to hang out with my mom.
He has a simp club.
Like book clubs in Artalis, but they're William Hawks simp clubs.
Anyway, we veered off
William
topic.
Hawks merchandise line. Anyways, yeah, that was off topic. Yeah, so Lauren points the gun at him and she says, don't you dare come near me. I will kill you if you ever touch me again. And if you had my ability, and she clicks her gun. So like, if she pulled the trigger, she would actually shoot him. She clicks the gun and she says, and if you had my ability, you'd know I'm not lying. And Kieran raises his hands and he says, look, I'm Harvey's replacement, the new mole. I'm not here to kill anyone. And Lauren says, the new mole, why you? And she still has the gun up during this. And Kieran says, look, I didn't want this either. And Lauren says, I don't give a flying fuck what you want. Excuse my language. How dare you come here? And she looks badass in this panel.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yes.
Lauren, please marry me.
I don't know why. I really like when the PH characters say the F word. Like, I have a tally.
Really?
Why do
Yeah.
people keep?
Can you?
Okay,
I
how
don't
many
want to say
times?
who's in the lead, but it's the most surprising.
Oh.
Oh
Is
my God.
it oh, I think I know who it is.
It is like the one of the main four, the one who's in number one is the one you'd least expect. So
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure. Is it Will?
Yeah, is it Will?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not
Yes,
yet.
I found
Not
That's what I
yet.
Bundin.
thought.
Oh,
Bundin,
but
I
because,
found
wait,
out the other
I know
day
why.
that
It's because he
people
says the
keeping
same word
like
again a million
tally.
times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bundin,
That it
I
like
don't know. It was like, yeah, it was someone else in the fandom. I don't remember who, but I found out that like they were keeping a tally of every time that Will dropped the F bomb, and I was like, why are you
he
keeping
does
a
it more than
tally?
you
And
think.
now, and now
Yeah,
I
he does.
also keeping a tally.
Well, I
What?
just like when they say that, like it's just so poignant. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, what brought them to this point? It's
Yeah.
interesting.
I
Kim
think
has
you're
not
not
said it
wrong.
yet.
oh,
Can you believe?
damn. 'Cause I think it's because they don't say it that much that it has power still. So it's
Yeah.
like when they do say it, it's like, ooh.
That was a
I
fun
think,
trivia
yeah.
question.
My favorite F bombs in PH are this here, and then the other one, and I think
I know which one you're
80
talking about.
sorry, not
'cause
80,
that's your
it's-
favorite.
Mhm.
yeah, in like 68, one
Yeah.
of the
Yep.
best episodes.
Yep.
But yeah, Lauren, I think it looks like she's walking towards him too. She says, "Is this another hobby you forgot to tell me about?" Because she found out, like, I think that's a reference to how Kieran feels.
43, I think, because he said, I
Okay.
didn't know we had to tell each other about our hobbies.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God, you're right. I forgot about that. And yeah, nice. I didn't remember that. Nice.
I have it memorized.
Kieran says, "I only received my orders yesterday. I didn't know." And I think Lauren's slightly lowering the gun by now. Oh no, never mind.
Hard to keep it up, I think so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lauren says, "How did you even get through the background checks? Our detectives combed the files of all the new recruits. How could they not find anything on you, of all people? You're not even using a fake name." And yeah, Kieran still has his hands up. He says, "I wasn't the one that prepared the paperwork. I assume it's because my civilian identity is clean and that my apartment establishes a history of residence. So it's not like I just appeared out of thin air. It's quite hard to create an entire fake identity and make it past the police background check."
Do you think that's gonna come up later when we slightly spoiler, when they try to find like fake bodies for Lune?
Oh,
It's like,
maybe.
that's hard to.
Ooh.
Oh, possibly.
I'm pretty sure it's a
Potentially.
correct theory, like from like the beginning of season 2, where we were like, okay, imagine this. Season 2 ends with Belladonna joining the police force.
That's your theory, isn't it? Or that's your
It-
desire.
It's
to
just
see.
like, it's like,
I don't know who came
hello,
up with it.
I'm the new receptionist or something.
Yeah.
Takes Lila's job. Oh my god.
She comes
Oh.
in with like fake glasses as well. And it's just like, is this
Yeah.
all y'all's fake cover?
Dyes
I
her
mean, but
hair.
Bundin,
Guys are
Bella
no.
has a rich father figure. He would pay for her position in there.
Yeah,
like-
but I don't know. I feel like another person, like it already hit so hard the first time. I feel like they could think of other ways to get us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, if it was the same
it's
twist
cracked.
at the end of the season, it would be kind of like
Yeah,
really.
it wouldn't hit as hard. It'd be kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
or did they not think of anything else? But
Yeah.
I don't think that that's gonna happen. So
Yeah. It'd be funny, but it's correct.
It
So
would be
it's
funny.
It's unlikely. But yeah, now you mention it, I'm getting kind of scared because we have passed 50 episodes in
Mhm.
season 2, but we're not at mid-season. So I'm like, what do they have prepared? Oh my God. But yeah, that's a discussion for another time. So Lauren says, of course. And Kieran says, but the leader didn't put me here simply to be a replacement spy. And Lauren looks up at this point and she says, "What do you mean?" And Kieran looks at her, he no longer has his hands up, and he says, "My main assignment is to find Lune and kill them." And that does make sense because through Harvey, the Phantom Scythe would have found out that most of the Lune reports were coming through this precinct, right? And this precinct did make the most efforts to make sure that they did have all the Lune files, because, you know, at one point they delivered a file to precinct 7, and I think Herman was kind of pissed about that. Like, there's a panel about it, and panel's like, we must get our hands on that file. So yeah, anything that Lune's been reporting, it goes to this precinct. So yeah, smart choice to put Kieran here.
Kieran's face when he like is about to tell her, like he looks away, and because he knows he's going to tell her something like serious, and he doesn't want to look her in the eye because it's too hard. Yeah.
So Lauren looks down again, and she chuckles, and she says, amazing. That's really all that was missing from my life. And she's kind of like, Lauren, you're giving off some very unnamed episode vibes right now, but like, you know,
like the parallel.
Lauren, you're being a bit sus right now.
You know what I think? It's because her reaction here, she's like, oh, so why don't you just kill me then? Strangle me
that
with your
directly
hand.
parallels.
Yeah,
It's like there's also like what she's doing is she's acting kind of a little bit out of her control because she's so taken aback by what just happened, that what he just told her, that she's like, her instincts are kicking over, her like dry humor and like sense of irony and whatever is like kicking in. She's just kind of help her reaction, I think. Like when she's laughing, a lot of people times when somebody's laughing in response to bad news, it's usually involuntary. It's like a nervous laugh or whatever. And I think that is what happened with Kieran also. Like he was also so overcome with his triggerment, if that's a word, that he also like was not really thinking and was involuntary.
Yeah, it's kind of, at this point, I kind of feel like she's kind of on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
It's just like one more thing.
Yeah.
I mean, one that makes sense though, because
true,
even though Kieran wasn't related to this, so like, I mean, maybe even less than an hour ago, she literally relived some of the worst of her childhood trauma. So and encountered the guy that got her demoted, right? So like, and a guy that like, and she just found, and she like, you know, confronted the guy that might have been involved in her parents' murder, which she like recently found out that wasn't actually an accident. Like she's been through a lot in like the past day.
Like in 24 hours, she had herself, like her partner betray her only lead go dead, like her partner nearly kill her find Tim sick again, her learn that her parents' death wasn't an accident. Like
she only ate one blueberry for that day too.
Like, bro, she is having one of the worst days of her life.
It's one very bad day, you could say.
Sorry. Or like Lauren wait, no, that wasn't what I was gonna say, but like Lauren Sinclair in the no good, like very bad something.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, very bad day.
I don't remember the title of that kid's book, but yeah. So Lauren in this panel, that is a very direct callback to Kieran in the that episode. So she brings her hand up to her hair, and she says, so why don't you just kill me then? Strangle me with your bare hands. You won't shed a tear anyways. And that is, again, another direct callback to Choke episode, where Kieran's like, I could strangle you here with my bare hands and not even shed a single tear.
Also, her expression with her hand in her hair directly parallels his face when he does the thing.
Yeah. He did the same thing. The only difference is they're facing opposite directions.
Yeah.
I think, at this point, Lauren has moved her gun, so it's not pointing directly at him. And Kieran's looking at her, and there's a throb. I'm not sure if it's his own head, because he might have also been concussed when he got slammed against the floor or wall or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I thought like first it was just like Lauren being like concussing again, but if it's put in his panel, I think it must mean that he is throbbing. Like I think maybe I kind of feel like it's a little bit too early to show us his feelings like this, but maybe it's his like heart throbbing at like what she just told him.
Yeah.
Because she just told him, you know, you're a monster, right? Like you're you're a cruel, heartless person, just like you told me you were yesterday. And like he really doesn't want to see himself that way, and it still hurts him.
Yeah, it's like a kind of a cringe, almost like a like you know, when you hear someone say something, it just kind of hits you in that particular way. Like it feels like the words literally hit you. I think that's what that is supposed to mean.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like when something kind of stabs you in the chest, where it's just kind of like, ow.
Mm-hmm. And what Kieran's looking at is actually Lauren's neck, because we know from episode
47,
I believe, that Lauren does have bruises there, and that is like in the shape of his hand, and that is probably what he was expecting to see there. But she covered it up with makeup, so there is no visible bruise. And I think that's also kind of ironic, especially considering the first part of this episode where she's in the office, because on the inside she is hurting a lot, but on the outside you cannot see it. She has completely covered it up.
Concealed,
like those lines, like maybe some makeup wore off, but it looks to me like those lines are supposed to be the bruise, or part of it at least.
Maybe like the shadow of it or something.
I mean, the bruises kind of look more like fingerprints, right? So they're more
Yeah.
circular,
I think
not
those
really
lines are
lines.
just the shadow of her.
Yeah,
like
that's
shadow of her face.
That's like Soph, how Soph draws shadows, right?
Mm-hmm. And Kieran says you can't see Kieran's eyes at this point because he's thinking about, it's implied that he is thinking about the events of the previous day when he did choke her. And he says, Lauren, and Lauren smiles. It's not a genuine smile, but it's not a happy one at least. And she turns a bit and she says, well, I guess it's a great thing that there is no Lune anymore. She picks up
I think
the
he was
coat.
gonna start talking about what happened by day when he says Lauren, I think he was gonna say something about 43. Like, I apologize, or I went crazy, or I flipped out, or I'm sorry, or something.
But I don't think Lauren's ready for that conversation. And Kieran and I, we're talking about it, like Kieran needs to give her space right now. That's the best thing he can do, is just to let her be and give her time. And then eventually when she's ready, they can talk about it. But she's in no state to be around him right now. And I wish Kieran, being kicked and punched, 3-4 times now. Bro, get the message. But yeah, she turns around, picks her coat off from the floor, and approaches the door. And Kieran's just watching her, and his brows are furrowed, but he doesn't say anything now. And Lauren, as she opens the door with Kieran behind her, she says, the deal is off. And the door closes, leaving Kieran alone in the bathroom. And now that he's alone, Kieran lifts his hand to look at it more closely. And his hand is open, so you can see his palm, but then he closes it into a fist. And that's where the episode ends.
Oh,
that is so symbolic. I think he's feeding himself. He's looking at the hand, is like, what did I do with this hand? And that fist, oh, I hate myself. Oh, how could I?
Yeah. And then you don't, we wouldn't see this since we're not in his head, but I wonder if he's looking at his hand in this panel, if he's seeing the blood on his hands again.
Yes, I was about to say, him looking at his hands is a very symbolic gesture, as we saw in 45. He interprets certain things in his head and kind of sees his hands as monstrous evil things almost, but he also creates with his hands. It's a dichotomy, which I like. And he's just it's almost like he hates his hands and therefore himself for what he did to her, it's a proxy for it.
Yeah, but as it's also through his hands, as you mentioned, that's how he sees humanity and how he captures humanity. So it's ironic.
Truly.
But that ends one of the best episodes of the season.
Yeah.
And then
It also ends with the author's note that said, F said in our new, let's make it spicy drawing. I look like I want to kill her. And I said, get a long handcuffs would really complete the look, like Lockie in the banner.
Isn't there one episode further down in the season where she's literally stabbing F through the heart?
Yeah.
Which episode was it again? I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember.
The
76, maybe 78.
might have been, yeah, one of those two.
Oh, that was terrible.
Yes.
Well, this episode was amazing. It was
yeah.
I want
Pain.
to say, like, I remember when this episode first came out, and I was like still new to the Discord. Like, I'd only been on the PH Discord for like 4 days at that point, and like this episode gave me such like it stressed me out so much, and it was like so like just in shock from it that like I literally disappeared off the internet for 3 hours.
Oh no.
I just remember the night that this came out, we made up the rock farmer AU.
That's
Yes, I
right.
remember that.
Because what happened was we thought of Kieran killing children, and then we're just like, no, it was a family of rocks.
Fire. I'm pretty sure I was the one who brought it up. So like even
so,
like
yeah.
4 days into Discord, I have been ruining Kieran.
I believe it. I have no trouble believing that.
This episode is just emotionally draining, man. Like, I know I had a long day, but I'm not usually this like so now I'm just like,
Yeah.
It's so layered though. Like, man, it's a good episode. Like, I don't know what to say. It's such a good premiere too. Like, it was very exciting. You know, coming back from a 3-month hiatus, and you know, middle of the pandemic where everything feels longer. So getting this premiere of season 2, like, you get really excited for what's to come, and it really just sets up one of the biggest conflicts again, because like the end of season 1 was setting up season 2 conflicts, but then like this really sets the stage for what is to come in the next 50 or so episodes, and that is Lune no longer exists. Because we weren't quite sure, like, you know, by season 1, right? It wasn't official, but now it's official. So what are they gonna do? And that is what we are left wondering for many episodes.
mm-hmm.
In this episode, with everyone saying which is their favorite panel from this episode.
Oh.
I can guess what.
I have many.
One.
Ooh, I can guess what your top 3.
They're the good like symbolic ones, and then there are the ones where it's Lauren dropping the F-bomb and Lauren getting, and not Lauren, but and then Kieran getting his shit rocked.
I'm not sure. There's so many good ones. Like,
This is like the worst episode to ask that question.
I know.
Like half the panels in this episode are my favorite. Like from the I mean, there's so many parallels too. And like, you know, that one panel where Kieran is standing over the corpses of Will and Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely horrifying and terrifying. But it's a great panel because you really get a sense for what Lauren is feeling right now.
Yeah.
I love the ones of Kieran's face in the bathroom when he's trying to be like normal. Like he's earnest and he's just like regret, and he's trying to like be a good person, but it's just like, bro, you need to realize what you did, man.
Which panel is that? Which one? Because there's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch. There's the one toward the end when before Lauren says the deal is off. I'm scrolling, trying to find these. The one where he like looks away from her, saying like, "This isn't the only reason the leader sent me here."
That's my favorite one.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Him with his hands up, like every panel with him with his hands up.
The one when he says my main mission is to find Lune, like that one is nice.
I mean, they were both serving in this episode. Like
they were, yes. I will say the one where she says, where is it? I'm not gonna let you touch them. That one.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. I'd have to say, I think my favorite though is the long one where she's pointing the gun at him and he's just whoa.
Oh, such a good panel.
So good.
The Lauren kneeing him in the gut holds a very near and dear place in my heart. So I'm
Yes.
tempted to pick that one.
I think we basically just went through every single panel in this episode.
Exactly. Like, you know, like half the panels in this episode are my favorite.
It's a good sign. Good sign.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining for this episode.
Thanks for having us.
Indeed.
Yes, as always.
And I will catch y'all later.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Have a good night, you guys.
Thank you so much to my current patrons: Susie, Lady Libris, Lily, Jenny, Haley, Maria, Molly, Veronica, Emily, Joe, Rochelle, Saucy Tuggles, Meg, and Rose, Priya, Alexa, Misty, Laura, Joanne, Patty, Jen, Emilda, Esther, I'm Watching You, Taurus, Poppy Seed, Marie, Jen, Emily, Jean, Jen, Erin, D, Kate, Lily, Beckett, and Miranda. Your support is truly appreciated.